So hi, Simone.
Hello. Hi, it's Simone from Frap Tools. We are here at the NAMM 2020, and I'm happy to have this year our first huge oscillator. It is called Brenso. It is similar to, as you can see, to other complex oscillator, but we have, let's say, 4 key features that I will be happy to describe that makes it really, really different. So let me just say that the first thing, it is an analog oscillator dual. There are 2 cores, the green and the yellow, as we usually do in our other modules. They are triangle core, and both of them are capable of true 0 FM, analog true 0 FM. So now we will listen to the sine wave, for example. This is the normal sine wave output, and we have a frequency modulation index here. So this is modulating this. As soon as we increase the frequency modulation index, we can have really huge amount of deviation, let's call it, not properly indexed. I will explain it later, but that's the main thing. Apart from that, let's say we exploded. I don't know if you can say that in English, but we don't have a modulation bus for everything. We have 4 separated modulation bus here. One for the frequency modulation of the green oscillator, one for the frequency modulation of the yellow, an amplitude modulation as last stage before the output of the timbre section, and one bus for the timbre modulation, which is addressed via an internal routing to these 4 points of the timbre section. This other section is what we say, it's a bit different from others. So taking the other output now, the final stage is a wavefolder circuit as others. It has CV inputs, but we added here like a sort of pluggable inputs where we can feed it with clocks, and we have a control over the release time.
Can we hear that?
Yeah. So I grab a clock output from here. And we can change that release, and also it is self-adapting in case of we have a huge train of pulses, like very short and very consecutive, very fast train of pulses. It auto-adapts itself in order to decrease the release time automatically, so we don't have this huge like always open folder thing, and automatically increase the release when this time increases with the distance between the pulses. Then there is included in here the symmetry control, so we can change the symmetry, and we can add an external CV to be summed with this value. And this is quite normal, but the difference is what comes before. Usually you have control over a low or high order harmonics. Here we have 2 wavefolder and a mixer. So the mixer chooses between this one or this wavefolder. This is the wavefolder for the sine wave. This is the wavefolder for the square wave. Let's put it on the square. We have privilege of low harmonics, pure square wave, privilege to high harmonics, and then privilege to low order harmonics, but with phase inversal. So when combining it with the sine, we obtain different kind of harmonics in there. Also, in this circuit, we have a PWM control. So this can be modulated at audio rate for, PWM. That's it.
Nick will be happy.
Yeah, of course. Apart from that, let's say the last important feature are these 2 buttons here. These are quite common in our oscillator, in our modules, usually the green and yellow button. But in this case, we use them to lock the frequency of the oscillator. So if I enable it here and here, we can do, for example, even frequency modulation. And if we accidentally move the frequency, everything will stand still. So even it's a safety even for live performance when we have to play in tune. And when we want to detach it, simply we disconnect it, we push it, we disconnect the circuit, and that's it. Other very minor feature that I can say are related to some like this small switch. So since we liked a lot the PWM function, we thought that we can have a direct square output or a shaped square output. So one takes the square wave directly from the core, and the other takes the square wave output directly from this circuit, which will always be with a different phase relationship than the other. So one is when the triangle rises is high, and when the triangle goes down is low. The other is just like a comparator on the triangle, so it will be like shifted of 90 degrees, I would say, basically. And then the timbre section has a direct output. So if we don't use it directly in this point, we can use this timbre section as a VCA for something else, let's say. What we are testing now, it's still to be confirmed on the final version, is these small switches here. These are AC or DC decoupling coupling for the frequency modulation. Generally, all these inputs for the linear FM are AC coupled, but if we are testing to keep it DC coupled to obtain some asymmetrical frequency modulation. It sounds interesting. It's still to be confirmed, but hopefully it will be there in the end.
Excellent. So when are you hoping to have it ready?
Hopefully we should be shipping it around Superboot, so I will say like in 3 months from now, something right there.
And do you have a kind of idea on price?
Price we estimate like $629. That should be quite the final price.
Excellent. Simone, thank you very much.
Thank you guys.